When there is a funeral procession, it's customary not to interfere with it. When we see people having their car lights on and maybe a sign hanging from the mirror, it's our custom not to break into the procession, and we even let it get through red lights. In the time of Jesus, there were no car lights or red lights, but it still was customary to step aside when a funeral procession was passing by. But in the gospel passage we just heard, Jesus stops the funeral procession. He touches the coffin and tells the young man who is about to be buried to get up. The man sits up, talks, and Jesus gives him back to his mother. The focus of the story is not on the son who was raised from the dead, but on his widowed mother. Jesus looked at her and had compassion for her. He felt her pain and responded. As a widow, she was already marginalized. There were no pension plans or Social Security to collect in those days. As a matter of fact, after the death of her husband, any property or money he had was probably returned to the family of origin or passed to the son, but when he dies, it goes back to the husband's family. The widow would have depended on the son to support her, and now he was gone. And that is what evokes the compassion of Jesus, why he returned her son to her. And a similar action is present in the first reading. Elijah brings the son of a widow back to life. And in both cases, the focus is not on the dead, but on the living. The lesson, or the invitation, or the challenge for you and me is to try to be compassionate to others. It's been said that if you want to be happy, be compassionate. If you want to make others happy, be compassionate. We all had a very vivid experience with compassion being shown after the Boston Marathon. First responders rushed in to help without any real assurance that there would not be more bombs. But who can forget the man in the cowboy hat, or the one who took off his shirt to use as a tourniquet, or the doctor who just completed the marathon continuing to run to the hospital? Yes, those were pretty dramatic examples of compassion, but we're called to be compassionate in ordinary settings as well. Children are called to be compassionate toward those in their class who might be a little different. Teens are called to be compassionate with others who are finding that changing period of life especially challenging. We all know of seniors who are feeling the results of aging and require our compassion, our understanding, our assistance. It's always touching to see an elderly couple where one becomes ill and the other takes on the role of caregiver. We need to see with the eyes of Jesus and Elijah. We need to be aware of the sufferings of the other and do what we can to address it. We can't bring any sons back to life, but we can give a sympathetic ear or offer to help in some ways. If you want to be happy, be compassionate. If you want to make yourself